Hello everyone, this is Akhier, and it has been forever since I've been able to record a video. Yeah, sort of just a thing. In the time we've had not only one release of Dwarf Fortress, but two releases of Dwarf Fortress, so I'm going to be playing a little bit of vanilla of that. I'm not sure if I'll be able to do many videos without a little bit of work on changing some things in my schedule, but basically the reason I haven't been able to do anything is the fact that I have to do laundry. Believe it or not, laundry is the fault. And literally, like, the across the wall from where my recording set up is my washer and dryer. So, like, that's not very conducive. And when I only have, like, it takes all day and I have like one day a week to do laundry, it doesn't work out. Anyway, this is the artifact release featuring the ability to send your dwarves off to cause trouble in the world, improve kobold sites, cover identities, artifact questers, and a bit of artifact diplomacy. In fort mode, the C screen, which I basically never looked at before, which used to list civilizations, still does that as a sub option, but its main purpose now is to show the world map and allow you to interact with it. You can either raid a neighbor generally, or send off squads to recover specific artifacts or rescue particular people, in which case the squad will still bring back other artifacts and prisoners, but focus on the goal. Squad questing after an artifact will seek out information in the first site. Information if the first site doesn't work, and this might take several months, so be prepared. Squads can also be captured during raids, though typically someone return to tell the tale. When squads return, a report will be available. A yellow capital R will appear over the left margin, and pressing R will let you see it. Sometimes reports are quite lengthy as squads stumble from tavern to tavern. You can press enter to skip to the end of the path animation. There are some rough edges here, but be sure not to send off your commander if you're planning to reorganize your military, as they are the only ones that power to assign new squads and cannot do so well off map. Last minute hiccup of artifacts known to be held by people rather than stored on site. These fort mode missions will be fruitless for the moment. For the most common instance here is books authored by people that hang on to them, so don't try to steal their books. Stays on the map screen when an artifact is held by someone, so it should be easy to avoid. Raids do not bring back non-artifacts or build skills. These issues may or may not be addressed in short term, depending on difficulties that arise. Interaction with heroes and invading armies are more straightforward. There will either be petition or diplomacy pop up to handle. Adventure mode, you can assume a cover identity. You do this from the K conversation menu. If you are already talking to someone, it will be hidden in the start new conversation. If you choose to link your identity to a civilization, you'll be carrying that baggage with you, especially when you're being interrogated by goblin guards. So one should be prudent, turn off the identity, go back to the assume an identity menu and press the X no identity option. You can also reuse existing identities from this menu. People in adventure mode that are seeking an artifact will list missing treasure. Wow, my words, I'm stumbling on them. Among their trouble, and you can then inquire further. In order to name an object, use the I to interact with it, and it'll be one of the options for appropriate object. For example, you can give a name to your spear or water skin, but not to the food or the water or food you start with. Various rough adventure edges. For instance, if you pick up and then immediately place a museum piece, then tell everyone about it, you'll get credit as a treasure hunter. It'll be difficult to fix that without additional property information. Also generally hard to, right now, to find artifact quests, as most things are in their proper place and or not subject to an outside claim. We'll be working with this a bit as we generally work on stabilizing the release. Yeah, I guess if you have an artifact, you either already have it or you've been sending people out to get it, so you probably have it back already. Overall, many of the changes occurred under the hood in preparation for the Myth and Magic release. but now the magical release will be able to incorporate artifacts of all kinds without additional delay, so hopefully it's time well spent. Take as much time as you want. As usual, your old saves should work, but please back them up before diving into a new release. Quite likely that forts will fall into technical ruin as bugs come up and are held and handled at this early stage. Old forts won't have object additions like the pedestals and display case, but they should be able to send out raids with the C-screen. Oh, looks like there's pedestals and display cases. Wonderful. It was a mod before. Focusing on worst bugs before broadening out. Okay. Apparently their Linux machine went belly up, so that's a thing. Ability to send out squads to raid sites, rescuing prisoners and recovering artifacts, to place cases, pedestals, museum zones, both in forts and other sites. Yes, please. Can view the world map with rumors from fort mode, artifacts created during World Gen, Dwarf moods, named heroic objects, holy relics, heirlooms. New artifact events in play in World Gen, questers seek and ask for or steal them, invaders demand them. New historical events associated to the creation of artifacts, used in fort and World Gen. Well, that's nice. Agents used by civilizations to gather information can assume cover identities, prove kobold site maps, which I don't think I've ever been to a kobold site. I do adventure mode so rarely. Goblin site denizens demand an identity instead of immediately attacking every stranger. Fair enough. More modding control over pets and other animals. Ooh, that'll be fancy. Cover identity at will, name their possessions. Reputation to artifacts. New religious activities, monks, pilgrims, and prophets. Museum and other room types can be added to fort locations like tavern and libraries, and other room types. I wonder what the other room types are. Various additional data in the XML export. That's always a nice thing to see. It'll mean that we can get more random stuff from that. Fix crash from weapon trap item breakage. Good. From visiting those forts, monsters to slay. Hair and other bits easier pulp. Ah, animated. Yes, that's important if you are dealing with the undead. Idle and vermihung dwarves come down from trees more successfully. Yeah, they did tend to get trapped in those trees. Made thirst, hunger, and being pushed out of the way less likely to terminate dances. So now we can mosh pit. Wonderful. Alphabetize broad stock screen categories. Yes, please. With historical bodies not respecting wounds processing, causing religion to worship too many gods with duplicates. Burrow beasts start in caves as possible. Broken historical collection linkage with beast attacks during festivals. Stop. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Body sizes more appropriately taken care of. And visitors less nervous about going to neutral locations. Perfect. And then we also, oh. Is that another release? Did I miss? Oh, that looks like there's another release there. Oh, probably, maybe they just didn't, yeah, that's at the 22nd, so they must have not had the yellow thing there. So, 3 releases. Fair enough. Okay. Fix World Gen crash associated to agents checking on site governments after it collapses. Stopped returning pet dogs from petitioning for sanctuary like rescued prisoners. Stopped uncontested raid reports from starting at year 0. And then the final update, which happened Christmas. Yay. Here are some bug fixes to close out the year. Notably, visitors shouldn't arrive in such large numbers so early on, and fewer of them should overstay their welcome. In old saves, people already in transit will arrive, but should taper off. Yeah, they did seem to like to stick around. Should recognize more of your accomplishments properly, not talk about unknown creatures so much. But identities have introduced some non-trivial issues there that we'll have to build through more carefully. There'll be some ongoing silliness. Major bug fixes. Fix crash from guide agreements. Fix crash. Fix maid agents roaming. Respect visitor caps. Check fort for taverns. A bunch of things. But yeah, basically fixes. So I'm not going to complain about that. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, wow, that's loud for me. Oh, I know what it is. Shouldn't be loud for you. That was entirely on my side. Because usually what I do is I turn the volume real down low because I'm using headphones right now. Because I don't want to double record that. But yeah. I forgot to do that because I wasn't having anything going on. Oops. Okay. Now, this isn't going to be a long fort. In fact, very likely this will be a single recording session. So, expect it to end relatively quickly. This is mostly just... I guess the best way to compare it to something would be get my sea legs back, because I have not been able to play this for a while. I think I'm going to go with the, except for this, frequent. I'm going to go for basically the default world gen. A little more mineral occurrence, but besides that... Yeah, normally I do a fancy world gen, but I'm gonna go as vanilla, except for the mineral thing. I can't. Goodness gracious. I don't mind my work. Like, I'm a cashier right now. That's my part-time job. It's still not quite enough, but I'm working on it. Is what it is. Oh god, I definitely don't have enough time today to do all this. The biggest problem is I've always been a computer guy, right? So, what's the first job I get when I need one? The job that requires me to stand 24/7, basically. Oh, goodness gracious, I find that amusing. It is what it is. I got some new shoes, or I guess technically it'd be a Christmas present from my mom that came early? I'm not sure how to count it, but yeah, I got new shoes, so it's a lot better now. Oh, goodness gracious. Yes, I learned something by being a cashier. I learned that my family is the weird ones out. Now, I'm not going to call it a bad thing, seeing as not more people die from botulism, but if you have a canned good and it's dented, if it's dented on one of the edges where, like, the can was rolled up, you know, like the top where it's got the little rim, and sometimes the bottom, most of the bottom of cans are actually solid nowadays. But if it's dented there, that could cause a small crack in the seal, which could cause botulism to form in it. Apparently, my mom's just really sensitive to that because she and grandma and basically our family has always been into canning, so they knew more about it. And most people just show up with, like, these super dented cans, not caring a thing in the world about it. So, yeah. I guess that's a thing. I'm still going to be really careful about, like, if I'm buying new stuff, I'm not going to get the one that's dented. Like, but apparently people just don't care about that. I don't know. Not my problem. Goodness gracious. Yeah, about the best thing I like about the job is the fact that the store that I work for, there's literally just a roll of stickers in our drawer that we can give out to kids. That is so fun, especially to the girls. Like, because they just love the stickers. Like, goodness gracious. Such pure joy. And then I come home and sit in front of a computer and do nothing. Oh, good. It looks like the things are spreading out quite well. Though I think it's looked like... Oh, come on, where's the mouse cursor? Okay, the mouse cursor... Looks like we've got some good human spread, maybe, in there? We've got a goblin going on up here, but it looks like... No, they're spreading alright. It's kind of hard to tell with these because they've got that, which sort of blends in. Whereas, like, the dwarves, they've got white. The elves got the yellow. Goblins got the bright pink. They stand out. The humans are a bit harder sometimes to tell what's going on. So this is apparently Goblin Island. I find that interesting. I can't remember how long the history is for this setting. So I'm just going to talk more. Like, it's potentially that this first video is going to be mostly talking before the gameplay. Which, fair enough. I do find it interesting to watch World Gen. But while that's happening, I should go over other stuff. As I said, it's slightly hard for me at the moment to record videos because whenever I would have time to, I'm doing laundry. Yeah. I tried to record, but, like, my desk is right up against the wall, and even when it doesn't sound like much, like, it still really shows up on the recording just because of the vibrations and stuff. Yeah. Instead, now this isn't going to be for everyone. In fact, there's a high chance that the demographics of the two categories don't overlap hardly at all. But I am technically writing a story at the moment. If you know what light novels are, you probably know the site I'm using and somewhat of what to expect. If you don't, light novels are basically, well, by the strictest definition, light novels are Japanese novels. Generally, short chapters, basically over in the Asian area, there's been a lot of people that have been making a job where basically they're just releasing a chapter or so a day and people pay them for that. Or they're on a site where, like, people pay to be able to view the chapters kind of thing. And apparently it works out okay for a number of people. And I love to read, so I got into it and like, oh, hey, this is cool, because it takes a different approach from Western novels because it's just a different background, so I find it interesting. And these are all translated because obviously they aren't written in English, so most of them are just like free. Like someone just goes and translates a chapter at a time, like once a day or a week or something. And I enjoy them, so that's a thing. Most of them, or at least the ones that you'll find the easiest, are going to be of the cultivation subgenre, which is basically just, if you take the concept that there's a natural energy in the world, and like you just go with like the yogi or whatever kind of thing where it's like someone meditates and gets stronger in some way, it's basically that cranked up to 11 because they absorb the world energy through whatever cultivation method they do. Eventually they become immortal gods kind of thing. It's an interesting concept. Definitely steeped in their culture, and a lot of the words, especially for the various stages of it, tend not to be tend not to be translated more than just like the how it would be pronounced, because there aren't really words for it that appropriately describe it in the English language. So it's interesting because there's a bunch of these weird words that really have no meaning outside of the context. But then again, if you get any kind of thing, it's gonna end up like that at some point. I've been really enjoying it. There's also a bunch of other ones that are also fun. Another common one is the video game based one, where that's somewhat broad. There's like 3 subcategories. There's the VR game stories, where full immersion VR, where it's like you jump in a pod and suddenly you're in the game kind of thing, Matrix style. That's a particularly popular one because VR is amazing. But basically just someone going through... Generally, for some reason, that seems to be teamed up with the reincarnation, which is basically just flavor for most of the stories, where it's like, oh... Or, not just reincarnation. What's the other word? But yeah. There's another word, and I can't remember what it is, but it's basically time travel, the other one. So reincarnation, where it's either someone who died already reincarnating somewhere, or the other word where they die, but then they wake up and it's the past kind of thing, or something happens and suddenly it's the past. That seems to be really popular in a lot of them. And I think it's just because of, once again, the culture. Like, reincarnation is a thing for a lot of the religions over in that area. But yeah, there's the VR, there's the, You know what I'm thinking about? That seems to be more of a English written story, where the game is reality, and reality was fake kind of thing. Yeah, I think that is more of... Because Royal Road... Is it .com or whatever? Royal Road is a site where, based off of a really popular novel, people started just basically writing fanfics for it. I'm not sure about the exact history, but now it's just a site where you can read a bunch of just stories people are making about any kind of topic, basically. But they do generally follow along with that kind of stuff. That's where I'm doing my story, because, yeah. Right, what you know. And I tried once, but it wasn't what I know, so I'm going more of what I know. Anyway, the other video game-based one is where it's not an actual video game, but the world that they end up in, and this is the one that's really heavy with the reincarnation. But basically it's a world where everything's game-based. Like, you have stats and stuff, and all that, and the people of the world, it's just how it works. Like, generally it's either like a god did it, or that's how it actually works. Another version of this is where it suddenly gets introduced to Earth. So it's like suddenly magic happens and you get the status screens and stuff. Generally along with an apocalypse, because that's the other common flavor. The world basically ends for some reason. And I really enjoy the stories because, as I said, they're completely different. And also, the fact that they're kind of drip-fed. Like, unlike how most stories, books, and stuff work, where it's like, this is the book. As a whole piece, you can buy it. These tend to be released, even the ones that people are writing, like, when it's in English or whatever non-light novel language-based thing, it tends to be released chapter by chapter. And even the translations, because it takes time, are released chapter by chapter. And it's just drip-fed to you. So it's not like I'm just sitting down reading a story for 5 days straight, which I've done before. Generally not that long, because I read kind of quick, but yeah, it's interesting to have it just kind of slowly fed to you like that. Admittedly, if you do like reading all at once, you can go and read some of the completed ones, which there aren't actually that many. Admittedly, more of the light novels are completed, it's just, it takes a while to translate. And, yeah. Especially with this, machine translation isn't exactly up to snuff. Mostly because of said words that don't really have much meaning outside of this context. Like, cultivation, and then the different stages, like, I don't know, what are you supposed to call it? It's like it's not actually translating it, it's just turning it, most of the human translators just turn it into the characters you'd need to pronounce it in English, so yeah. It is what it is. And we've actually got pretty far. I'm gonna stop and see what the world looks like, because I think we're pretty much good with this. Also, I've reached about the end of that topic. I think I spent 10-ish? Between 5 and 10 minutes on that. Yeah. Yeah, I pressed enter, so it'll eventually catch up to this. Okay, there we go. 177. Let's see what it looks like. You know, the elves had no problem. Are you humans? Yeah, you're humans. Okay, this looks really nice. Where's the undead at? Yeah, I'm thinking probably down in this area would be about the best region because we've got some goblins hanging out. We've got the elves, obviously. There's a... Oh, that's a dark elven pit. Huh, interesting. The elves must have taken it. We've got humans, elves, dwarves, and goblins right in that area. So that should be nice. Is there any kind of tower going on around here that I could, Oh, there's one. Human tower. Fair enough. They're a little harder to spot because they're that darker color. They don't... that seems good. Uses currently exist. Nice and early in the morning, which is completely opposite how I like to do things, but I still gotta do laundry, and I actually woke up. Yeah. Oh yeah, other things. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you'll hear... Oop, I want to switch that. There we go. That wasn't important, but I switched a thing. Slight change to my Patreon. I had someone that was supporting me for a bit, but with the mess that Patreon caused, that dropped out. So now I have basically an empty Patreon. Whatever. Like, it'd be nice if I got some on there, because then I'd, like... What would I do? I'd probably reduce my availability on some days, so that I'd be able to actually record more videos. Yeah, that what I'd do. Once I had enough, obviously. Like, I'm not a miracle worker. I can't make money come out of nowhere. But yeah, that's a thing. But I changed up. Before I had, like, a couple of tiers. I had the $1 where it's like if I ever had anyone on there, I'd put a poll up. I need to go change that so it says if there's 3 or more people, I'd do polls. Because I'm not going to do it for 1 person. That's not cool. And I'm not going to do it for 2, because that could end up in a tie. 3 people means I can at least do a 2-option poll and have it not end up in a tie if they both vote on it. Which seems for the best. But yeah. Besides that, I reduced, or the second level was $3, and that was to get to see the videos at least a day early. And then the third one was like, I think $20, and I'd put your name in the credits of the videos. Honestly, I was just doing that more because, well, it was suggested to do it that way, where you had multiple tiers, and like, okay, why not? Now I've reduced it to the Jim Sterling model of tiers, where $1 gets you everything. Donate as much as you want. The tierless method. Yeah. Basically, like, whatever. I guess if I was popular enough, like Leonard French, the internet attorney, copyright attorney, where he like has a thing where if you donate so much, it's on the LED screen behind him, and if you donate even more, you get, like, listed. Or he says something, like, I think at the end of his credits he put you. But, like, yeah, he has a bunch of people who are willing to support him for that. That makes sense. But for me, I'm not exactly that popular. Just saying. Okay. Oh, huh. Are you not goblins? They might be elves or something. That's interesting. Huh. Where was that tower? There's a tower here. But there aren't elves. So do I want the tower or elves? That's a tough choice. Find 3x3. Don't care about any of that. What I basically want is no flux. And deep metals, and I want soil. So no aquifers, multiple deep metals, and soil. Do I want fluxstone? Sure, we'll throw fluxstone in there. Why not? Yeah. So yeah, basically, my Patreon is now just donate whatever you want, and you get everything no matter what. Is what it is. Besides that, this video, or this first video, which I think I'll just go until I start the fort, and then, after taking a look around, I'll end this specific video and start the next one. Okay, it looks like this area is going to be green. This one isn't going to be up early, but from now on I'm going to, first of all, space out my videos more, because I tend to just be like every other day or every day kind of thing. Which isn't quite going to work. Okay, did you finish? No, okay. There we go. Interesting. The question is, do I want to be near the tower? Which probably be interesting, seeing as I've not really done that, or elves. Deep soil, woodlands, heavily forested, calm. And we've got a river here. There's also a little bit of mountain up here, which could be interesting. It's got... Oh, there's a third one, which is deep metal, fluxstone layer. It's got some soil. Not deep soil, but I guess that's what we're going to have to deal with. And we've got the goblins in the towers. Oh yeah, I forgot to check this. And of course we've got the usual spastic amount of things. Oh, here we go. This would be the most accurate. Yeah, let's go with this. Now the question is, do I want to prepare carefully or not? I think I will prepare carefully, just because I want to set up how the dwarves will be. Okay. Now, I don't think I want... I don't want to go and make stuff right from the get-go. We are going to be around the undead, or potentially around the undead. So I think a hammer will be the weapon of choice to start off with. Okay, let's see. Is there any other... Got the digging implement. Anything else specific I need from that? After I get all my regular gear and I equip up the stuff, I'll start buying some armor for them, I think. Chilla meat, fish, cave lobster, 4, 5, 6, 7 food, some of each drink, some of each seed, I don't need an anvil or leather or any of that. Well, I guess that is one thing. I could bring the leather and make the stuff I need from that. I don't really need anything specific from it, so I'm not seeing that. Seems good. Bring 10 units of each to food. Or do I want more than that? 70 units of food. 14. That's a decent amount. And of course, we need lots of booze for the dwarves, so 30 of each. I'm not trying to do anything fancy with the numbering of stuff. Just going for mostly round numbers. And 10 of each the seed. Along with that, I'll want to grab some animals. Oop, nope, only 10. I don't want to do this. I'll get a dog, some cats. Do I want an extra female dog? Sure. Besides that, do I need anything else from here? I am partial packed, but they're a little expensive, so I'll save them for later case. And now for you guys. First of all, I want a miner. That's all he does. The woodcutter can also... What could you do? Because he's not going to woodcut all the time. He can be the mechanic. And then a carpenter, a mason, someone to grow stuff. Also throw on herbalist to him so he can collect stuff to start with. A doctor. We ran out. We won't be able to do surgeon stuff in a while, so I'd rather have a more competent wound dresser. Can do a bit of that stuff than have someone that's also... Actually, how many points? I've got... Yeah, we can just go with an adequate one of those. And then we need someone to do the military stuff. Let's see. And he's a hammerman. who will use shield and armor. Reduce that by a couple because I want to also dodge a bit and give him discipline. There it is. Oh, that's why I feel just a second. I realized why my feet were cold. I forgot to put on my socks. Fair enough. This will be a bit better then. And normally I don't wear socks, but once it gets winter it can be a little chilly on the floor. So I wear socks. Neither here nor there. Okay, with that we've got a bunch of the basics. These two peasants are the mason carpenter dudes. I'm going to pop them each a thing of building designer. Besides that, got a mechanic already. I don't know if we'll have somewhere to fish. There's not really anything else I want them to do at the moment. Oh well. Yeah, we'll go a little light on that. We don't really have every profession we'd need, but we're doing alright, I think. And now for the armor for the one guy. First of all, I want to get a shield. Like, this is definitely something that we could go and get cheaper by just bringing a little bit of leather and making a shield from that. Bronze shield. I don't know whether I have the optional leather here, because we do have leather there. Copper shield. Headwear. I'm actually going to spend a bit on this and get a bronze helm. Body wear is the next important thing. Copper mail shirt. Handwear and footwear. Less important, we'll go with gloves. Do we have some eagle leather? Yeah, we got some eagle leather high boots. Body, foot. I think the high boots cover the legs as well. So that should be everything there. That leaves 264. With that in mind, can we get the bronze mail shirt? Yes, we can. Leaves a bit left. Actually enough to get us some llamas. Or alpaca. I think I'll go with alpaca. No particular reason for that. I'm just getting alpaca. And to top it off, I'm going to increase the amount of plum helmets we're bringing. There we go. So yeah, that's the final thing. We've got a little bit. I bought the warhammer. Oh wait. Do I want to do that? I just thought of a thing. If I didn't... Alright. I didn't get the alpacas. I think I'd be able to get a silver warhammer. Or wait, no. Silver warhammer isn't that expensive. Throw those alpacas back on. No, it should be fine. Copper warhammer's good enough. Silver would be the best, but, well, is what it is. So we've got the miner, got the woodcutter mechanic, we've got carpenter, mason, grower, doctor, fighter. Seems good. Let's embark. Yeah. Okay. You arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Unolnib. There are almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance, whether by bolt, plow, or hook. Provide for your dwarves. You're expecting a supply caravan just before winter entombs you, but it is spring now, enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the jaguars get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Zonamith, helmed delight, strike the earth. And then it takes a while because it needs to save. It is what it is. How many videos I'll get of this done. I'm gonna aim more towards the 30-minute after this one because, well, this one's going on a little bit long. Prologue and world creation. Channel talk in world creation. There we go. That's what I'll do. Because I've still got to do breakfast at some point. And besides that, laundry. Lots and lots of laundry. And writing a book. There we go. Okay, and we've got apparently a white wagon. Let's see, we've got some stuff visible on the surface. This doesn't go too high, so it's a really small area. What kind of trees are we dealing with? Plum and almond and stuff. Persimmon, cherry, a bunch of fruit trees. That'll be good for food. And let's bring it more into focus. There we go. This area is small enough that at the default level I can see the edge. Let's see what down is. Okay, we've got a few pools of water, which fair enough. Everything seems good. Okay. With that, I'll leave any actual gameplay to the next video. Well, time to finish that up. If you enjoy what you saw, then please like, comment, and subscribe. Support me on Patreon to give a voice in what I'm doing, and my videos are up there a day early. On Twitter, I'm AkhierDH, and I tend to tweet when videos go up. All that aside, I'm Akhier, and I'm signing off.